right, now, thank you. So we have been hearing so much about the success of Pfizer, especially the developments this morning, as well as Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine trials. But here's the big question. Who are the people that are taking part in these tests? Why do they do it? What does this process even look like? Let's introduce you to one of the participants. Cheryl Horvath is a fire chief joining me from Arizona this morning. Cheryl, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. So let's begin here. The big question is why? Why did you want to take part? We saw tens of thousands of people taking part in various trials. Why did you want to do it?
Well, because we need to come to an end with this thing. I mean, I think it's been pretty obvious since the beginning of the year, frankly, that COVID's gotten a grip on our country. It's going to be a problem. My community is a high-risk demographic, particularly in terms of age group. And, obviously working in emergency services and being around our firefighter paramedics and that type of thing, the sooner we can protect ourselves, the sooner, more importantly, we can protect our families, the better. So honestly, I didn't hesitate. It was more like, how do I sign up for this thing?
Wow, that's a great way to see it. And it's not just you as part of the crew. You've got a number of your team members that are taking part as well.
Yeah, there's about 5 or 6 firefighters. I don't know the exact numbers. Obviously, that's a HIPAA issue, but I've had quite a few of them walk up to me and say they're doing it, and whether they've been symptomatic or not, we talk about those types of things. But I'm really, really proud of our folks. I think they see the reason why the vaccine is so important. They're in a vulnerable position. We're a rural fire district in southern Arizona, so my folks will spend upwards of an hour in the back of an ambulance with either a known positive COVID patient or a potentially positive COVID patient. So from a risk perspective, they're putting their lives on the line every day. And so I'm really proud of all of our folks at my fire district, but in particular those that have stepped up to help out with the vaccine trial.
Indeed, some amazing work that you're doing, especially those who have stepped up with the vaccine trials, as you've mentioned. Let's talk about the steps. So what did it entail, and what will it continue to entail?
So honestly, it was pretty easy. I saw a post on Facebook in a private healthcare group from a professional acquaintance who I know, and she was saying that they were recruiting healthcare workers and first responders. And so I reached out to her and said, hey, would my fire district be eligible? Because we're the next county over from where this trial was being held. And she said, oh, absolutely. I think they'd be interested. So reached out via email, got an automatic email right back with a full packet of information, and then had a phone call follow-up, set up an orientation appointment. The orientation appointment turned out to be my first shot because they do a medical screening, they do blood work, you get a COVID test, and if everything looks good, they give you your first booster. So I had that appointment. 30 days later, I had a second booster. In between, after you get the booster for about 7 days, there's an app that we log into on our phones, and we have to answer questions every night about how we feel, whether we have a fever or not. And my fire district's been doing pre-work screenings since March. So I know whether I have a temperature every day and how my vitals are. And so honestly, pretty seamless process. My understanding is it's supposed to be 2 years, but I think there's also potential that maybe it won't last that long.
I see. Yeah, we're seeing definitely some success here. This doesn't go without some concerns or, going into this, signing up for a trial. Obviously, there could be some dangers. Were you nervous at all with it?
No, because once I read the information about how they actually made the vaccine, I have a good friend of mine that's in a biotech industry, and so a little bit familiar with the technology. I'm not a scientist by any means, but I think the important thing was that I wasn't going to get a strain of the actual virus. This is a genetically made product, if you will, similar to what we're seeing with Alzheimer's drug therapies and cancer drug therapies. So for me, I saw it as honestly probably one of the safer things to do. And I figure worst case scenario is I have a 50% shot that I actually got the vaccine.
That's it, because you don't know if you had the vaccine or the placebo. So really interesting. I'd love to check back in with you, Cheryl, again to see how you're feeling in the next little while. Who knows what's going to be happening in the next few weeks, months. But we appreciate you taking the time and all the work that you're doing. Please extend our love to your crew as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Take care. Have a good one.